so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat while I duck police. Own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone being to pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get them away from me.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome.
Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool, nah, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get to hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to brittle out of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kid. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up and feel it back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on,
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army. Going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Sabe got this bitch off the hand, got this juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey. One way, one way, one way, one way, one way.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause it's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't cold. like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move and coach shit. See me, they like, ooh, keep on shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my divorce.
All right, shalom, everybody. It's the ISUPK. We start on 1 West Harlem, New York, under Commander General, Johanna. And we teach that the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of Israel. Can you mute the TV? All right, so first scripture we're going to get into, first scripture we're going to get into is Deuteronomy 27 and verse 1. When you get it,
And that was Deuteronomy?
Yeah, 27 verse 1. You go ahead and read while I fix it.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1, correct?
Yeah, verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when ye shall pass over Jordan unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, that thou shalt set thee up great stones, right, and plasters them with plaster.
Verse 3.
Verse 3. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law,
right,
when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and a land that floweth with milk and honey.
With this what?
With milk and honey,
right,
as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee.
All right. So, as we just read, the Most High is going to give us these laws so we can keep them in the land that flows with milk and honey. And that basically is saying there's a land filled with riches. Now, to give you a backdrop, Israel was set to go on a conquest to conquer the other nations out there. So just to let y'all know, like when your pastor tells you that God loves everybody, you go and tell them where God wanted the Israelites to conquer the other nations. Literally conquer. I mean, he told you don't leave none of them alive. You know what I mean? Like straight up warfare. Can you give me 28 in verse 1, Deuteronomy? Oh, so.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right? It says you want to set us high above all nations of the earth. So all these other nations that you see on the planet, you know what I mean? You can just look at them and tell them that they don't deserve the rule. You know what I mean? Like all our oppressors, they don't deserve to rule anything. They're lunatics, they're maniacs, you know what I mean? And when they're ruling this world, it's all in disarray. You know what I mean? The oceans filled with oil and garbage, you know what I mean? They're flooding, I think it's called the Mid-Atlantic Trench or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I've heard a lot about what happens with the oil. I can look that up for you. I've never heard that, but I did want to make a comment about what you're saying. What I'm starting to notice is that it's heavy what you said because the whole entire ecosystem is just thrown off of the world because of how everything's operating based off of greed and just no wisdom in the world. For instance, the oppressor has everybody fishing for abominations in the water that you only clean the water and keep it, free of like fecal matter, E. coli. But instead, we're sitting there eating the bottom feeders, and it doesn't even allow them to filter the water, let alone put oil in it, like you said.
Yeah, because the oppressor is a lunatic. There is nothing good that comes from him. And this is why it's important that we keep the law. So when we keep the law, the world is going to be a better place. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be destroying the rainforest. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be dumping plastic and garbage all through the ocean. Like, hey, can you look at something? It's called like the Mediterranean Trench or something like that.
I'm trying to find it right now.
I'm trying to tell you, this is where we dump all our garbage at. You know what I mean? But I'll read that verse again while you get that for me. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations of the earth. Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. See, right now, right here, they said these blessings shall overtake you. You know what I mean? When you have a blessing that overtakes you, you can't handle it. You know what I mean? It'd be so much good stuff happening to you that you're not going to be able to know what to do with it. Let me go to verse 3. It says, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. It's talking about where we work at, you know what I mean? In the city of Wilmington, the city of Smyrna, or wherever city where you're at. You know what I mean? This is we're going to be blessed in it. Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. And the fruit of the body, of course, is talking about your children. It's like it. And you want your children, no problem, no sweat, stuff is fine. And you want your children to be blessed. You know what I mean? You don't want your children to grow up in hell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my child to grow up how I was raised. You know what I mean? In the conditions where I was from. To be poor in the ghetto. You know what I mean? Starving and hungry. I don't want my family to be like that. You know what I mean? And somebody out there, there's some brother or sister out there who has it way worse than I did. You know what I mean? You can talk about like child molestation and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Rape stuff, you know what I mean? Poverty, being killed, seeing your friends die young, seeing your parents die young, you gotta be a murderer. That's all what hell is, you know what I mean? And this is why it's important that we keep these laws so we don't have to go to that. Most importantly, you should be keeping it, especially if you got children, because you don't want your children to go through that. You know what I mean? Now, if you read continue on, it says, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of the sheep. So that's all the work that you're doing. You on verse 6, all right?
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 6. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face.
To be what?
Smitten before thy face.
So the Most High said our enemies are going to be smitten before their face. And that's just for keeping the law. Very simple. You know what I mean? If you don't eat pork, if you don't eat shrimp, you know what I mean? You don't sleep with your brother's wife, you don't smoke crack, smoke weed, and stuff like that. You won't be a drug addict. It's very simple. When you have enemies that come against you, the Lord will smite them to their face. Keep going.
They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouse, houses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto.
Hold on, because that's a very important verse. That says, the Most High said, whatever you set your hands to do, he is going to bless. Whatever you put your hands to do, as long as it's lawful. You know what I mean? You can't be a woman out there. God's not going to bless your OnlyFans account. Let you know right now. You know what I mean? If you're a drug dealer, the Most High isn't going to bless you to do that. You're eventually going to die from it. You know what I mean? If you live by the sword, you're going to die by it. You know what I mean? You sell poison to your people, you're going to die by it. Keep going.
And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy place, or Salakia, and holy people unto himself,
Right?
as he hath sworn unto thee.
Okay.
If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
See, very, very simple. You know what I mean? And your Christian pastor, your Christian church is lying to your face. It's like if they tell you that you don't have to keep the law, why would you not want to keep the law? That's the real question. You know what I mean? Why don't you want to keep it? You know what I mean? Just think about that. You're somebody in the world right now, and you're struggling between being Christian and being holy. You know what I mean? You indoctrinated about what your pastor told you for years, what your grandmother told you for years. You know what I mean? What your friends told you for years, what you've been used to be doing. The Most High, listen. Give me that verse for me again.
And verse 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee.
Right?
If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways.
Right. What verse 10?
Verse 10. And all people of the earth shall see thee, Salakia, see that thou art called by the name of the Lord.
Right.
And they shall be afraid of thee.
Damn. He said they should be afraid of thee. You know what I mean? It's going to be afraid of you. And that's what's going to happen when we eventually rule. I hope some of y'all brothers that's watching this out there, you want to be part of the 144,000, man. They're going to be afraid on you. Man, you know what I mean? They're going to look at you and how we do things. And you know what? These other nations are going to be happy that they don't have to eat cats and dogs anymore. Like, do y'all see some of the stuff that these other nations eat, these abominations? When I go on Facebook and I see them, I seen this video, sidebar real quick. I seen this video, right? There was this heathen, there was this giant like pig warhol in a bowl over here was eating noodles, and they were eating out the same bucket or bowl. It was like, it was crazy. It's like, yeah, I didn't say that, but it was crazy, man. They had like a big bowl of noodles. The warhol was eating on this side, and the heathen was eating right next to it, eating out the same bowl. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, they're going to rejoice that they don't got to do that no more. Guarantee you. Keep going for me.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, and the fruit of thy body,
right,
and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground,
right,
in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee.
Stop right there. Now, we're going through all the positives right now. You know what I mean? Because I think as Israelites, we understand the negatives. You know what I mean? Like, we understand the drug addiction, the child molestation, the rape. You know what I mean? Listen, and not to mention our music. There's a new genre of music. It's called ratchet rap. You know what I mean? It's like they're making this an actual genre. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just women rapping about crazy, hypersexual situations. You know what I mean? Do not let your daughter listen to Sugihana or who's that artist that sung that one song?
Sexy Red.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, huh?
Exactly.
Sexy Red. You know what I mean? That is a no. That's a hell no, man. Do not let your daughter listen to that, man. One thing I know is if a woman is listening to that, I know where her mind is at. You know what I mean? I know where her mind is at. Don't do it. But as far as this verse concerned, the Most High says that He will make us plenteous in goods and the fruit of thy body. You know what I mean? The Most High is going to bless us tenfold, man. Tenfold. You know what I mean? Your children are going to be good. You're going to be plenteous. Go to verse 12 for me.
And it's a lot, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
You bringing that up, that's separate because it back to like the Sukihanas and the Sexy Reds and all that. Because what they're doing is just terrible. And if we had, the wisdom of the Lord, about all of Israel, people that aren't, under the knowledge of the Bible, that you can take as a teaching us, they would be better. In Ecclesiastes 26 and 25, it speaks on that. If I can just read that.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and 25 says, "A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog,
right?
But she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord." And pretty much these women that just decide to do this ratchet rap, they don't have any shame, and they are kind of like it's almost like they are like how we use the term like, or excuse me, a female dog is a the B word. I don't want to get us banned on the channel, but that's what they're saying. A shameless woman is just a goofy B word, and then they try to teach other women to do this, and we all jammed up. We teach all.
Exactly. I mean, the water for your point, you know what I mean? And also, those women are single. You know what I mean? Like, they gonna mess up. I guarantee you, there's a married woman out there listening to Sugihana, and she's like, man, I can do better. Go get a new man and stuff like that.
And then, new chapter.
Yeah.
That's what that says.
New chapter. Dumb bras, man. It's crazy to me. But, I mean, that probably could be the Most High sparing that brother. You know what I mean? Because a godly man is given to a godly woman. You know what I mean? So if that brother, if your rib leave you, just know that, you know what I mean, it's because you're righteous and she's not. If you're a brother in this school. But let's go into verse 12 for me. So,
all right, that was verse 12. Correct?
Yes.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 12. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season,
right?
And to bless all the work of thine hand.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow.
I know, man. So I tell you, man, the Most High is very deep. And this is why I'm so glad I came into this truth. Because I would never read the book of Deuteronomy like this if I was still a Christian. You know what I mean? And you just learning that the Most High wants us to be the superpower of the earth. You know what I mean? Like, America, everybody looks at America as the greatest country on earth. But when the Israelites rule, we are going to be that symbol for this bond. Keep going.
Verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
Read that again.
And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
Go ahead.
The way pastors preach this out of context, I've never heard, like, until coming here, I've never heard this preached or even taught in its proper context. They always try to put it as like financial gain for like an individual. And this is talking about the children of Israel no longer being head. I just want to say that it's phenomenal how pastors can make anything about them getting money and make you kind of like just feed into that area.
Yeah, because yet the Christian pastor is nothing but a whorehouse, man.
Right.
They are the pimps, and the congregation are the whores.
Right.
I mean, y'all niggas is whores. You got a pastor, you're being pimped, definitely. You know what I mean? It's sad to say. I mean, some of y'all like getting pimped. It's easy life. You don't got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean?
And he crazy mean.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy mean.
Pastor preacher to say pimps, and then it's a combination to say, oh, I'm crazy.
You should make it a shirt. All right, go ahead. Finish off verse 13 for me. Start from the top.
And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath.
I said we'd be above only. Only be above. You know what I mean? We should only be above. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I love the Most High. This is why I love being an Israelite. I had a pastor tell me, why would you want to be a Jew? Like this nigga right here. And that ass. You know what I mean? But continue.
If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do, right? Verse 14. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day.
Read that again for me.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day.
Right? So the Most High just said, do not go aside from these words. You know what I mean? So don't try to bend it to fit your lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just be real direct with it. because that's how I'm gonna be direct with it. You know what I mean? Listen, when it comes to the law, I still get tempted too. You know what I mean? I got counsel from some of the brothers, you know what I mean? I still get tempted too, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna compromise though. I just need a little bit of boost. That's all, a little bit of courage. That's all I was looking for, you know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not breaking this law. Every time I think about what the world has to offer, with the money and the women and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like what I could be doing, what I can't be doing. You know what I mean? But I sit down and I read, and I'm reading the book of Deuteronomy where it says all the blessings, you know what I mean? And I think I can have more than that. When truthfully, the devil wants to give you the world, you know what I mean? But the Most High has already promised it to us if we just do it His way. If we obey these laws, statutes, and commandments, He says He's going to give us those things already. You know what I mean? Very simple. Just stop eating pork. I know it's hard for some of you Christians to do. Pork is not that good. It's actually very disgusting. You know what I mean? Sure, go ahead.
And I always like to bring out the fact that when I was in the world, I would prefer certain parts of beef, even though it was offered in pork most of the time. Like even what the Lord offered us and told us to eat is way better than what we're offered. It's just the fact that we've just been desensitized towards how disgusting pork is and how disgusting the abominations are, and brainwashed because a steak is 100 times better than lamb chops. I mean, excuse me, not lamb chops, pork chops. Beef ribs is better than pork ribs. Like it's actually better. Even if people like the way it tastes, it's like I'm sure somebody can season up some food and make it taste like something. But if it's garbage for you to eat,
You say food?
yeah, I'm sure somebody could trick somebody into seasoning something up like that, and you wouldn't even know what it was.
That's definitely a heathen culture.
Right.
Heathen food.
Absolutely. But you know, at the end of the day, it's just our stubbornness as Israel just want to go against the grain and just follow the oppression and the devil that has taught us these things, rather than doing what's better. Not only is it better for you, the Most High laid it down for you to do it, and it's like to us it's that simple because we're in the right spirit. But in the world, they're in a whole different spirit. So it's just it's a lot.
Nah, you good. You know what I mean? And that's what you're saying is true. Because because you said that, and it brought me around to a video. Because when I be on Facebook, I'll be watching heathens and their different, like I'll look at their different cultures and their different practices. There's this tribe out there in India. Now I forgot the name of this tribe, but if they're like cannibals and stuff. So they believe that God is within you. And so if you eat anything, it can't poison you. So, and they do eat human feces, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. Like, if they see like a dead body in the river, to them, that is a prime time meal. That's just A1. They see a dead body in the river, they'll go and just pick it and just eat it. Go ahead.
Imagine inviting one of the heathens over for the Super Bowl.
Hell no.
That's what they bring over to eat.
Oh man, we gotta go.
Night. I don't even watch the Super Bowl, but I know about my young days. I'm watching the Super Bowl. People bringing stuff. So like we should just keep them people away from us.
Absolutely.
Until we ruling and we can't control what this culture does, that culture does. We should keep them from around us, build ourselves up because I eat like horse out of the river. While eating food.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, they said they believe that. So it was crazy. And I'm sitting there looking at it. So God is within you, but so they believe they can't get sick. They just eat the joint. It's like a dead body in the river.
You try to disrespect them, tell them each S-H-I-T, like,
yeah. Man, so it's crazy to me, man. Listen, man, I thank God every day that I'm not an African. I'm trying to tell you, I mean, an Indian, Moab, any of these heathen nations.
That's right.
All right, so, and that's what, see, in the book of Deuteronomy 28, right? And that's what we're talking about, you know what I mean? So that is the life portion, you know what I mean, when he says to choose life. Now, we can go into the curses of disrespecting the Bible, or disrespecting God's commandments. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So it says that though, so right now the Bible is saying that if we don't do these laws, statutes, and commandments, that all these curses shall overtake us. You know what I mean? So we can either do them and the blessings will overtake us, or we cannot do them and the curses will overtake us. Let's read verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shalt thou be the basket of thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of the land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Go ahead. You keep going. I'm fixing that. All right. So what we just read, you know what I mean, is that the fruit of our body is going to be cursed. You know what I mean? And I know we all love our children, but those of us that have children, you know what I mean, you don't want your child to be cursed when he's
always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat while I duck police. Own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone being to pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get him away from me.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome.
Tryna keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool, nah, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to brittle out of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome.
Get down here to class, 1232 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware.
Shalom, Lord Christ, to my brothers and sisters, man. Y'all need to come down to 1232 North King Street, where the truth resides, man. ISUPK Delaware. We definitely representing doing some big things.
202 North DuPont Boulevard in Smyrna, Delaware.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Come and be a part of this rising thing that we got going on here in Delaware.
I hear everybody claiming that they love the Lord and love God and all that. Well, get in here and show it. You know what I mean? The scriptures say faith without works is dead. So if you ain't doing nothing, your faith is dead. So get up and do something. What you need to do is get your ass up and get in the class. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing else. You're sitting home wasting time. Everything is going on around you, and you don't know how to compartmentalize these things. You understand? I'm on my way to class right now, like you should be. You know what I'm saying? Class don't stop for nothing.
Excuse me, I got a question. Somebody give me Romans 13 and 11. I have a question. It's a Ronald car, man. Give me Romans 13 and 11.
Khan, this is the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 11. And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Brother, you need a water? Thank you.
Weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Handle lights and teddy bears, I'm trying to leave your block romantic. Flicking off the hip, I lead a scene looking like I'm dancing. Ain't one Westworld, best believe we not gon' stamp it. Titties on a drum, the stick figure looking outstanding. Rip his tie with the hands of the Lord, call that God tears. Send a spear right to the sky and watch his front tear. I'm that nigga cause I run with them niggas, so let's get that clear. Don't question who say I'm the GOAT, I tell them God did. In order to be the best, you gotta beat the best. To me that's suicide. Of course I sound cocky to a glizzy eater, fuck your pride. Don't need a horoscope to see I'm a star, so fuck your sign. You can believe in anything you want, but as for me and mine, God mode. I am what I am, so let's just keep in mind. Don't wanna be like Yaya Kyrie, they wanna be like I. She said she lost until she found me, and then she found a tribe. And then I make a bout face until she called me out of wine. The weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Leave an imprint of my legacy with a spot for you. No way you can endure to the end if you not loyal. Weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Leave an imprint of my legacy with a spot for you. No way you can endure to the end if you
not loyal. War time, no questions asked, we come and find you. His problems, my problems, and I'm standing behind you. Stepping with style, I'm standing on shit in my product. I take on the crowd, tell them all, throw in the towel. Half moon with a silencer, make it sound like a howl. We the shit, we about movements with a growl. Heavy is the head with the crown, when I take it I'm proud. I get the order, bring my sword back wet with a smile, nigga. I'm an Israelite rapper, nigga. Would never hit his wife, but I'll go at you. I make commitments to a gun if I'm talking about a tantrums. Nigga said he a stand-up dude, that mean we laughing, nigga. Jumped on the beat, start snapping, you leaving fractures. Red and green bean, I'm Gucci, you thinking fashion. Dad go shoot for the green, and I ain't talking St. Patrick. You screaming all lives, I'm screaming all guns matter. Keep it biblical, talking in parables, cause it matter. If I say bring Jake up, I'm talking about a ladder. He was the wave till I came with the fire, no John the Baptist. Who cared you did it first? You should be worried about who after. I'm connected in any habitat, shit I adapted. Nose job on a brand new snub is all plastic. That's why I show up the court with jeans on, I'm never slacking. You a rapper turned Israelite, I'm an Israelite rapping. Weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Leave an imprint of my legacy with a spot for you. No way you can endure to the end if you not loyal. Weapons of our warfare is not carnal, I was born in it. You converted, this is not for you. Leave an imprint of my legacy with a spot for you. No way you can endure to the end if you not loyal. All time, no questions asked, we come and find you. His problems, my problem. Stepping with style, I'm standing on shit in my product. I take on the crowd, tell them all, throw in the towel. Throw in the towel. Heavy. When Westworld, let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Skimmer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the beast loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man, that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pace, and you off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But there's power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we half, but we come from half knots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
It's not blown in Christ. All right.
Yeah, it looks like
Salakia, Israel. Salakia, my bad. We'll get right back to y'all in a second.
Salakia. Damn, that's up. All right, Lord in Christ.
All right. So we left off on Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15. And it goes, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, if we don't, it's like it. Just had to mute it. That's all. So in the verse that we just read, it says that if we don't follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, that the Most High is going to curse us, and these curses are going to overtake us. And as Israelites, we already know these curses that's overtaking us with like drug addiction, you know what I mean, child molestation, Christianity, fatherless homes, motherless homes, broken families, destroyed marriages, the prison system, the water, you know what I mean? All these devices and all these evil things are going to come upon us if we don't follow these commandments. Can you read verse 16 for me?
The book of Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
right?
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Okay.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
It says, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. You don't want your children to be cursed, you know what I mean? Like as somebody that's coming in the truth, or you in the truth, you got to understand that if you don't follow these commandments, these laws and these statutes, that your children will also be affected. You know what I mean? You want your children to be in a good environment, in a 2-parent home, you know what I mean? You don't want to destroy your home like Keke Palmer did. You know what I mean? She chose attention over keeping her family together. You know what I mean? Is it worth it? Answer is going to be no. Because in the end, it always goes sour, man. Somebody that breaks up the home, it always goes sour. But that brother, he's going to move on. He's going to find another girl that's going to do what he says and be right by him and do right by him and the children. And they're going to live a very happy life. And Keke Palmer is not. That's just how it plays out in most cases. They could get back together. I wouldn't, though. All right, you keep on going. Verse 19.
Verse 19. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
Right.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursing vexation and rebuke.
Hold up. The Bible just said that God is going to send that curse to y'all, not the devil. So when you're being cursed with vexation and all these other terrible things, that's the Lord doing it to you. You know what I mean? That's God giving angels the power to do that to you. You know what I mean? That is not the so-called devil. You know what I mean? The devil underground or something that's causing you pain and destruction. It's because you have a disobedient spirit, and the Lord is going to punish your sin. You know what I mean? Because the Bible says God is not mocked. You understand? God is not mocked. Like, you can't just make fun of God and belittle his law, statutes, and commandments. He's going to come back and get his. You know what I mean? He's going to come back for it. Keep going.
The Lord shall send upon thee cursing vexation and rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do.
Hold on. It says God will smite all that your hands are going to do. So no matter what you try to do, you seem to can't get it together. And I know I said that before. Now, I mean, when I was in the world, man, I'm trying to tell you, I was like, the obstacle after obstacle after obstacle kept popping up. And I'm like, man, what the hell is going on, man? Why can't I get ahead? Because the Lord was cursing my hand. No matter what I did, Listen, man, I tried to go to college. Boom. All of a sudden, I couldn't get no more financial aid. Damn. You know what I mean? And I know my problems may not be as big as everybody else's, but I'm just, you know what I mean, telling y'all my story. You know what I mean? I had my car repoed. You know what I mean? I got evicted. I go live with people. Terrible. You know what I mean? Terrible. Keep going.
Until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings.
It says you're gonna perish quickly. God damn. Self-explanatory, man. I don't think I gotta go into that one. You're gonna perish quickly, boy.
Right.
Keep going.
Whereby thou hast forsaken me.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee.
Hold on. He says he's gonna make the pestilence cleave to you. You know what I mean? So I never caught COVID, you know what I mean? But as soon as this was like, okay, I'm gonna be a little bit transparent with y'all. When I was a trooper, I went against one of the commandments, right? And after I did that, a couple of weeks from then, I caught COVID. That's how I know that, this Bible is real. The Most High, you know what I mean, came at we a pestilence. And let me tell you, I was not expecting that, man. I started losing hair and stuff like that, man. It was painful, man. I tell you, I told the Most High, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that again. I'll learn my lesson. You know what I mean? And that was when I was a trooper. You know what I mean? Well, I done took an oath to be an officer now. Look, I'm afraid if I break a commandment, God might just take my life fast, you know what I mean? Or make me suffer. But I'm not gonna find out. I'm gonna keep these laws, statutes, commandments, where there's bond on my soul. Keep going.
And Salaki, we were on, let me see. It kind of skipped up.
We're on 21.
Until he have consumed thee from of the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
Damn. Go ahead.
Verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever,
right,
and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword,
right,
and with blasting, and with mildew,
right,
and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
Damn. I know, right? The Most High has a good imagination. I'm trying to tell you. That shit right there is vivid. Now, I don't know what he meant by blasting. I don't want to find out. You know what I mean? But I know what mildew is, mold, you know what I mean? Right. We're going to curse you with all that stuff, man. If you don't want none of that mess to happen to you, stop eating pork. That's it. Very basic. I keep trying to tell y'all, man. It's very simple to serve Christ.
Camera keeps moving.
Oh, that's probably my hand moving it. Let me cue him down. The Bible is very simple. The Most High is very simple, man. Don't eat pork, don't eat shrimp, you know what I mean? Don't be a whore, don't be a whoremonger. Very simple. Law, statutes, and commandments. And really these laws create brotherhood. You know what I mean? Christ taught these laws. Christ didn't come against these laws because Christ wanted to see the children of Israel rule over these other nations, as he just said. All right, so I think we're clear on those curses, and let's drop down to Matthew 5:17. I mean, we're gonna look what Christ said about the law. Let me get there with you. You read it when you got it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
Hold on. Read that first verse again.
Think not.
Think not.
That I am come to destroy the law.
Uh-huh.
Or the prophets.
Right.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right. And I know y'all got a Bible. My joint is written in red. That means Christ said it. And I know all you Christians out there like to quote Christ and say Christ did away with the law and stuff like that, and he nailed it to the cross. But he also But do you even Christians read the first part? It says, think not. It says, don't even put that inside your head, inside your brain. Don't even think this, that he's come to destroy the law or the prophets. So what's written in the Old Testament still stands because that's where the prophets is written. And that's where the law was written. You know what I mean? It's in the Old Testament. Drop down. Let's read 18.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle.
Till what pass?
Shall in no wise pass from the law.
No, can you go back up to the first verse?
Oh, Salakia, sir.
No problem.
Till heaven and earth pass.
Till heaven and earth pass. Now,
one jot.
Salakia. Now, this heaven is talking about the sky above us in this context. And I mean, it's talking about the sky above us. We still see the sky. You know what I mean? We still, like, we're still on earth. Some of y'all are, you know what I mean? Y'all might be drug addicts. You think you on Mars or something. But we are on earth right now. As we speaking, we're still on earth. And the sky is still here. So what the Christ is saying, that until this passes away, not one jot or tittle shall be done away with. Keep going.
Shall in no wise pass from the law.
Right.
Till all be fulfilled.
19.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments.
It says, whosoever shall break one of the least commandments. That's a commandment that you don't think is that big. You know what I mean? Like, there might be a brother that, you know what I mean, want to keep his dreadlocks. You know what I mean? He know who I'm talking about. I hope he's watching it. He might want to keep his dreadlocks. You know what I mean? You think you look so good and all the women going to come to you because you had those stinking heathen cultures, you know what I mean? Teshiva, that's what it's really for. You want to keep those in your head. You know what I mean? You want to break the least commandment. Or your brother out there who want to shave his beard to look like an oppressor. You know what I mean? Don't do that. You need your beard, brother. You need your beard. Keep going.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments, and shall teach men so.
And shall teach men so. That sounds exactly like your Christian pastor, because he don't give a damn what he does.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's not no law that he follows. He doesn't. He'll sleep with your wife. He'll sleep with your sons, sleep with your daughter.
Good night.
You know what I mean? He's eating pork with you, shrimp, lobster, crab, every unlawful thing. And the only law he does keep is tithing. He's going to make sure, that Christian pastor is going to make sure that you pay your tithes. And you'll pay your tithes and he'll have sex with your woman. Go ahead.
So like it, he'll even have you get a divorce and have you kill your unborn child nowadays.
Facts. That's heavy. He'll encourage abortion. You know what I mean? He's a murderer. He's an accomplice. And that's the Christian church, man. There's no brotherhood inside the Christian church. There might be a form on it on the outside, but if you get into the most inner parts, you know what I mean? You start getting up in there and you'll realize just how nasty some of these church people can be, some of these church women can be. I was sitting down with my mother, you know what I mean? And we was discussing some things about her church. And she told me about some of the beefs that her pastor had with some of the other members. You know what I mean? I'm like, because when I was growing up, I didn't see any of that. You know what I mean? I was too young to realize that all this drama was happening behind the scenes. But now that my mother's pastor has passed away, and she started telling me all the different scenarios that went down over the years, and I'm like, dang, I thought her and her members were like this. You know what I mean? I thought they was tight, joined as one. But nah, there was a lot of beef going on. And that just goes to show that the Christian church, it can't be what God called. You know what I mean? Because everybody isn't living that life. You know what I mean? Like, where's the brotherhood at? Where's the sisterhood at inside there? You know what I mean? I didn't experience that till I came here. I don't trust none of my friends in the world. But all my friends in here, all the brothers in here, I trust them 100%. All right, Paul. You go to my next verse. You go to Matthew 19 and 17. So we're talking about the law here, you know what I mean? And this is what the law encourages. We just read in Deuteronomy where you can choose life, you can choose death. You know what I mean? And this is Christ backing up the law. I mean, Christ is backing this up. He taught the law. He wants us to teach the law, and he wants us to do it. Keep going.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good?
Can you start at verse 16 for me?
Khan out of one Khan.
Thank you.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 16. Mm-hmm. And behold, one came and said unto him, good master,
right?
What good things shall I do that I may have eternal life?
So there's this brother out here. He's like, dang, man, good master. He came humbly, you know what I mean? Knowing who Christ was, who Yahweh was. This is good master. What things should I do to have eternal life? Because he wants it. Keep going.
And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one,
right?
That is God. But if thou wilt enter into life.
Enter into where?
Enter into life.
Into life. Go ahead.
Keep the commandments.
Oh, say it again.
Keep the commandments.
Oh, one more time.
Keep the commandments.
Right. Listen, Yahweh just said, keep the commandments. If you want to enter in life, keep the commandments. Do not sell drugs. Do not do drugs. Don't smoke crack. Don't smoke cigarettes. Listen, if 2023, I do not understand for the life of me how a brother or a sister can pick up a cigarette and smoke it, knowing that on the package it says this causes cancer, and they know that there is literally not one good thing inside a cigarette, not one ingredient in there is beneficial to you. You're gonna mess your lungs up, your teeth gonna yellow, you're gonna stink, and you're gonna die early. What is the point of smoking a cigarette? Can somebody out there please tell me? Even the names of the cigarettes is nasty. A goddamn Marlboro menthol light, Marlboro gold. I don't know all of them, the Camel one, you know what I mean? It's pointless. Like, why would you even do that? Dummies. Keep going. Verse 18.
Verse 18. He saith unto him, which Jesus said, thou shalt do no murder.
Right.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Hold on. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's a big thing, you know what I mean? Adultery. Because I know we listen to a lot of rap songs that says, I'm going to go and I'm going to F your girl, you know what I mean? I'm going to do this to her. Now even the women say, I'm going to F your man, like it's wild out here, you know what I mean? Like, and that's such a big thing. Like, you got to control your members in your body, you know what I mean? Because all good box is not worth it. It's not worth the headache that comes with it. It's not worth the sin that comes with it, you know what I mean? And the punishment that comes with it. So like the punishments that come with it is not worth it, you know what I mean? And especially like in my circle, even when I was in the world, I ain't never do nobody like that. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, cause I like to think of myself as a real friend. So I could never betray my brother like that. You know what I mean? And not just my blood brother, but my brother in the world. You know what I mean? There's some people that I rock with today. That's just my brother. You know what I mean? But enough about my story. Keep going.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal. How can you steal from your brother, man? You know what I mean? But knowing that he can just give it to you. Like, I don't gotta steal from anybody inside the ISUPK. You know what I mean? Especially in here. You know what I mean? Because I know if I just ask, it'll just be given to me. You know what I mean? Plenty of times I got fed here. You know what I mean? It doesn't help me out. We help each other out over here. Keep going.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Don't lie on your brother. That's what that means. Don't bear false witness. You know what I mean? If somebody comes to you and you start lying on your brother, you lying on somebody, man, don't do that, man. Don't do that. Keep going.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Right.
And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
And thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See, and this is what the Bible is all about, man. This is what keeping the law is all about. It's about loving your neighbor as thyself. And that's how there's perfect unity within the Israelite community. And everyone are these heathen nations that's going to be under us when we start ruling. You know what I mean? It's going to be simple. It's going to be simple, man. I mean, if every brother and every sister followed these protocols and these laws, we would have the kingdom. You know what I mean? We would have heaven. We wouldn't have to say be pro-black anymore if we just follow the laws. Because this Bible is pro-black. You know what I mean? Very simple. Go to verse 20 for me.
Verse 20. The young man saith unto him, all these things I have kept from Salakia. I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet?
We can drop it right there. So he's claiming he did all that. All right, give me 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. Let me get there with you. First John. All right, you can read it when you got it.
Sir. The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And hereby we do know that we know him.
Hold on. Who's the him? Who's him? Yes, sir.
Oh, that would be God.
Absolutely.
The Most High.
Uh-huh. So we have John talking right now. And John is saying, this is how we know him. Him being Jesus Christ. Or Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
If we keep his commandments.
If we do what?
If we keep his commandments.
If we keep his commandments. Keep going.
He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a liar.
He's a what?
Is a liar.
Listen, man, John just said you are a liar. If you say you know God and you don't keep his commandments, the Most High just said that you are a liar, a dirty, filthy liar. You know what I mean? So you can't say you love God and be a homosexual. It doesn't work. You can't say you love God and smoke cigarettes. It don't work. Can't say you love God and you commit adultery. It don't work. Can't say you love God and eat abominations. It just does not work because the Most High God is calling you a liar. I know all you Christians always talking about he knows my heart, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he does know your heart. You're a filthy, disgusting sinner. That's exactly what you are. And he hates you for it. Every day you sit there and eat a pork chop. He's looking at you like you are the most disrespectful piece of filth out there. And all you brothers that, you know what I mean, continue to sell drugs, he's looking at you like a filthy piece of crap. I was that filthy piece of crap, you know what I mean? But I cleaned myself up. Go ahead.
Salaki, I was going to say, and I've said this before, you know, something simple as keeping the commandments, which you bringing out heavy, especially about our dietary laws.
Yeah.
For something that simple, you know, the Most High might decide to just take your life.
Absolutely.
And I remember, you know, having discussions with my mother, you know, and my father,
right?
Because they're still, you know, in the world.
Gotcha.
You know, now my father, he's taking those steps, and my mother, she's a little bit different.
Right.
And she, you know, we've had discussions where she said, you know, the Lord knows my heart. And there was a situation where one of her friends, their husband, ate like a whole bunch of like shellfish.
Okay.
And it killed him.
Is it shrimp or lobsters?
It was like oysters.
Ew, that's the worst one. Like,
it was oysters. And when I was in the world, I'm not gonna lie, I was eating oysters. I was wilding. I was eating raw oysters. I was tripping.
Straight Esau mood, man.
Huh?
You went Esau mood.
What, a movie?
No, I said you went Esau mood.
Oh yeah, I was tripping.
Eating raw, huh?
And you know, the brother lost his life because of that.
Damn.
That particular thing had my mom say, you know what? I think you're right. I'm gonna leave that seafood alone because that is crazy for him all of a sudden to die from that, and I've eaten it all my life. And so she just left that. She left it alone.
Slack. So he passed away recently, like this.
This was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
It's about a year. Matter of fact, maybe within a year.
All right. That's good.
And
you know what I mean?
my mother was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave the seafood alone.
Yeah.
So my mother, she don't mess with the seafood, and she stopped, you know, messing with the pork. But it's just, I wanted to just highlight what you said. Like the Most High, he gives us grace in certain situations, but other people might not get the same grace. And that brother lost his life eating an abomination according to the Lord. So that's heavy right there.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you for that story. You know what I mean? Because death is the ultimate reminder of we got to get it together. Like when somebody passes away from something, like damn, that can't happen to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That can't happen to me. I don't want to end up like that. Let me continue to do this work of the Lord. You know what I mean? Because truthfully, I think the scripture says our life is nothing but a vapor. You familiar with that one?
Khan, I'll find that for you real quick, sir.
Yeah, it says life is nothing but a vapor, man. We can be breathing, talking today. We be gone tonight. You be dead in your sleep. You know what I mean? Dead. They walk in and find your body cold. Nobody even know you dead. They think you sleeping in late or something. You know what I mean? They go and check on your body cold. Just like that. You can get into any accident at the drop of a dime and you dead. Listen, man, I done see some crazy stuff, man. This is why the Most High is a wonderful. You got the verse?
Khan, sir. And this is James chapter 4 and 14. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor,
right,
that appeareth for a little time and then vanish away.
Well, the water, man, I appreciate it. What that James just said, man, is what we're talking about. Your life is nothing but a vapor and you just vanish away. Listen, this is why we urge y'all brothers and sisters, man, you don't have the time that you think you have. You don't. Especially when you know the law, especially when you know the Bible. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be taking this very, very seriously. You know what I mean? And I even tell myself this. I gotta remind myself that I gotta remind myself that this is my wife now. You know what I mean? This Bible, the school, this is my wife.
That's right.
So I gotta treat the Bible as such. You know what I mean? And so I gotta focus most of my attention, 100%, 110%, 120% has to go into me and the ISUPK. I mean, first and foremost. And then I'll take care of everything in the world. You know what I mean? That's also why Paul said that it's good that none of us get married. We can be focused on the work. You know what I mean? You got to be married to this, married to the Most High, to the ISUPK. All right, we keep going to, did you finish verse 4?
I'll go ahead and just read it from the top.
Con.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments is a liar.
Right.
And the truth is not in him.
Damn, that says the truth is not in him. Your pastor does not have the truth. Don't get mad at me. I'm just the messenger. This is what the book of John says. You know what I mean? John, he's an apostle. He was walking with Christ. He says that if he doesn't do the commandments, he's a liar, and the truth is not in him, man. Go to verse 5.
Verse 5. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected.
Damn.
Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked.
Right. So that's John saying, you know that saying, gotta walk it like you talk it. Am I saying it right?
Right.
That's it. All right, solid. That's an older term. I ain't that old yet. You know what I mean? I don't know that one.
The Migos even made a song about it.
Oh, word? They did?
Yeah, walk it like you talk it.
Walk it like you talk it, man. Practice what you preach, man. Do not be a hypocrite out here. If you're a hypocrite out here, you will be found out, man. That's how it goes. All right, we go to Romans 6:1. I mean, this is why the law is very important. Because if you look at the state of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians right now, we need some form of law, man. Like, just imagine if everybody kept the thing, don't commit adultery. There would be less, I'm trying to tell you, the murder rate would go down. Because most of the time, these brothers is killing themselves and killing other brothers over women, man. It's not a good look, Israel. Not a good look. You got that verse for me?
God, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 1.
Go ahead.
What shall we say then?
Uh-huh.
Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
It says, so this is Paul talking, you know what I mean? He says, shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? What do you think the answer is?
No.
No, hell no. You know what I mean? So we continue in sin so you can have more grace. That's the brain teaser that Christians tell themselves. They listen, man. Christianity is a hell of a drug. Just imagine you keep sinning so you can have more grace. It's backwards. It don't even make sense, really. I think the Most High, I'm not a Christian no more. Let me remember Romans 6 and 15.
The book of Romans, chapter 6, verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
Shall we sin that we're not under the law? Nah. Go ahead. Tell me.
Salakia, it is so crazy that people will literally say that the law is done away with after having read this when it literally says, God forbid, which is an emphatic no. It's like, hell no.
Right.
Like, no, you may not sin. We're under grace.
Exactly.
We're not under the law of the punishments. The Levites aren't going to come to your house and shoot your house up, or like in modern days, come out, drag you out, and bury you in your backyard.
Right.
Ah, man, Christians.
I know, man. It's tough being a Christian, man. Matter of fact, it might be easy because they're not held accountable for anything they do.
For anything.
Might be an easy way out. You know what I mean? They do whatever they want. They just ask for forgiveness. And let me tell you. Go ahead.
It's like, I imagine it as the Lord is telling you to do something, and then you look at him and say, nah, I'm not doing that. You know my heart. Like, that's craziness.
Facts.
That's insanity right there. Like that's just belligerent disrespect of the Most High God. It's in the scriptures.
I know, man. And that's why God said, man, God cannot be mocked. Get that verse for me? I believe it's in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, God is not mocked. But yeah, man, that's a heavy point, man. Because that's what Christians do. They just look and just ask for forgiveness at the end of the day. They just they'll do something bad, just ask for forgiveness. And they'll keep making that mistake and keep making that. Listen, matter of fact, that's what Israel was doing the whole time. Through the Old Testament, even till today. They would so we don't burn doves and shit no more. We just say, oh, I'm sorry, or God knows my heart. But that's what we were doing back in the old times. You know what I mean? Back in the Bible days. Oh snap, we would do something to a brother. We would allow on a brother that we'll just go cut a sheep or something. We're gonna sacrifice a sheep, throw them on the altar. Oh snap, I committed adultery again, kill another sheep. You know what I mean? I lied on somebody, kill another sheep. Lied on somebody next day, kill another sheep. Lie on somebody 7 days a week. You done killed 7 sheep. And then on top of that, you don't even bring the best sheep. You bring the crappy ones who God said don't bring.
Right.
So what is the even point of even bringing the sheep? You know what I mean? But you got that verse for me?
Go ahead. The book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
That says God is not mocked. You cannot play God, man. You cannot do it. Listen, your sin is going to catch up to you. I'm trying to tell you. Oh, go ahead. That's next.
Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That's what he's going to reap, man. That's what you're going to reap. Whatever you sow, you're going to reap. If you sow sin, you're going to get the consequences of sin. The wages of sin is death, nigga. It's going to be death. You know what I mean? And we just read in Deuteronomy all those curses that come upon us. You don't want none of that, do you? Ask yourself out there, if you're out there right now, ask yourself, do you want to go through the curses again? Or how long do you want to stay under these curses? You know what I mean? I don't want to stay under them any longer than I have to. All right, we got to wrap it up here. Give me 1 John chapter 3 and 4.
The book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 4,
right?
Whosoever ever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
They said if you commit sin, you transgress the law. Read the next verse, please.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
That's what sin is. Sin is a transgression of the law. So when your pastor says don't commit sin, he's really saying don't break the law. But if he's teaching you that the law is done away with, he's teaching you that there's no more sin. But then, so what are you getting baptized for in the Christian church? Why are you going up to the altar crying every day, every Sunday? You know what I mean? It's a good question to think about, Christians. You want to say something?
Lots.
Okay. Last verse, 1 John 5:3.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. You know you love God when you don't break the law, when you don't lie on your brother, don't lie on your sister, you know what I mean? You treat them right. You know what I mean? You do right by them. You don't sleep with their husband or their wife, you know what I mean? You don't do any of that disrespectful stuff, man. You don't talk about on their back, no backbiting, none of that. Keep going.
And his commandments are not grievous.
And his commandments are not grievous, man. Very easy commandments to follow. We would have everything in the palm of our hands if all we did was obey the law.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything will be at our disposal. There's nothing that we can't accomplish as a people. You know what I mean? As the leaders of our household, there'll be nothing that we can't accomplish. And with that, we're gonna end the class right there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Your car, Trooper Nyala, Ka'oz Rib, and Ottawa Officer Dasayam. This is the ISUPK. All right, you go ahead.